Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Austin City Limits 2015. We're here with the great Albert Hammond Jr. Thank you for taking a couple minutes with us, sir.
Thank you.
You're in a bit of I wouldn't say a privilege, let's say an advantageous position, just given the fact that you've been around with the Strokes for so long, and now you have, your band and your other band, and the way that things are moving along. I mean, you're on stage. It looks like you guys have been around forever. It looks like you guys have been, doing what you do forever. And that was, frankly, I mean, I didn't expect as much of a frontman charisma as you put forth. And so
well, that's why I'm going around the world now to show people that, I guess. And I know, just kind of spread the word, and try to make everyone in that group is so awesome. And I'd love to just have a career and make more records with them,
Yeah. Do you have any plans for the future with that? I heard there's a...
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on... I think that's kind of what this album is see if it can stand on its own 2 feet. Right. So it's kind of hard to... I mean, I have music, but it's kind of hard to know where it's going to go,
Well, this album's such a progression from the last one as well, and it's taking on so many new steps, and lyrically it's just kind of mind-blowing. And I don't want to pull out my phone, but there's some lyrical anchors there that are just, all right,
I would have to look at it, too. I feel like... I actually did that on the phone. I had to Google myself. I was like, God... don't remember.
I'm wondering about the way that lyrics have maybe shifted meaning over time for you. Has that been something that's sort of come alive in its own way and taken on a different meaning?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. The process of it is different. I had more time, more focus this time, so sometimes little sparks happen when you're writing the song. You'll get a sentence or a word that you like, or you'll randomly write a word down in your notebook, and then it works in the song. But It's hard because lyrics aren't... It's not a poem. They have to go somewhere, but they also need to fit in this melody, and the melody changes it and gives it different meanings. So.
Right. Have you ever found yourself trying to alter a melody that doesn't want to give to fit a certain lyric?
I mean, I've definitely remember when I was doing Losing Touch, I had these verses that I liked so much, just lyrically in bed when I was writing it, and then when I was singing, I was like, it's just terrible. It just didn't work. It was so funny how I went from being like really excited that I had done something new and different to just thinking, oh man, now I have to sit.
Yeah.
It's just that's like the process. It's like, I made it, I've lost. I've made it, I've lost,
Well, I think the buoyancy, you can pull a buoyancy from that. You can derive buoyancy.
For sure.
I mean, that's part of buoyancy.
I feel like, actually that's a good way of putting it. I feel like to not let that, to realize that's the process and go with it is great, but sometimes you forget,
right?
Even though you've done it, you're just like, you think everything's over. It's just like rehearsals. You go into rehearsals day one, and you're like, we're gonna go on tour. We suck, and then by the end of the week, you're good again.
So you sound like a cover band of yourselves, kind of when you go in.
Yeah. A little bit. That was Gus's thing. Whenever he was just always very honest with me. He was like, you guys sound like a shitty bar band. I was like, all right, I got to keep on working.
Always evolve.
So what lyrics?
All right, yeah. So there's a line in Born Slippy that I keep coming back to just because of the quicksand element to it of what it references, and you probably know what I'm talking about. Sometimes the sun goes behind the clouds, and you forget the warmth that could be found.
Oh yeah, that's funny. I was wondering which one you were gonna bring up, because that's the one I actually reference sometimes, because I tried to show people like you just find other ways of saying. This too shall pass, or like other ways of saying how easy when you're somewhere else you can forget that other things are still there. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
I'd written that line randomly walking around in Paris one day and put it in my phone, and I was looking for lyrics, and it seemed like such a good way to start that song.
Yeah.
And that song came together in so many weird parts, like the melodies. I had so many. That's why there's like 5 different melodies in there.
The This Too Shall Pass vibe of it, though, the interpretation of that. I mean,
that's what I mean. You can take it any way, though.
Yeah. Well, it serves as a really good sort of uplifting kite to pull away from the anchor of somebody's feelings who might be feeling really down and like.
Well, that's the thing. That's what it is. When you're feeling down, don't forget that it changes.
Yeah.
It's not. The emotions aren't permanent.
It can definitely seem that you're down enough in the hole that you don't see the sunshine.
Sure,
anymore.
I feel like I've been there for sure. I've even thought it wouldn't change. I think that's kind of why sometimes you kind of telling yourself that, and a lot of times all these emotions are very universal.
Yeah.
As much as you feel like no one's felt it, I feel like there's ways to say things where everyone will understand, even though they didn't live your life, they've lived their own, but they've experienced the same emotion.
Yeah, we're all.
I feel like we're about to be tackled at any moment.
Yeah, we're trapped in the hell
like
of our own
looking
minds.
around.
I'm wondering if we're ever going to get our ears on what you were talking about. I read in some other interview you were talking about wanting to do a rearrangement of some Sinatra songs.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You're gonna do it?
I'll still do that. It just I never got down to it. Yeah, there was 2 of them. There was That's Life and Strangers in the Night that I just I wanted to see if I could do like a modern arrangement for it. They just have these different. They had these melodies, these background melodies that I really liked, and I wanted to like almost bring them to the front and then see what would happen to the song.
Right.
You know? Yeah, that was. I really want to do that.
That'd be really great.
I just need time for that. You got to be at home for that.
Yeah. You're not gonna be home for
I'm
a
never
while,
going
from what I hear. So I have to ask about the Strokes.
Yes.
Given what Julian said on stage.
Yes, I know. Thank
the
you,
other day.
buddy.
So yeah. So
We're going in. I think he was just excited. We're going in for a week in February to see. I think this whole time we had a band meeting on the 24th, and it had just come to the conclusion that we were going to try to get together to do this 6th record. And it was like, when do we have time? And it's like, oh, February, probably a week or 2. And I think he just got really excited in D.C. and said it. And I was just like, oh, boy.
well, now maybe that kind of sort of manifests the velocity, the pressure to make that happen.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
I'm just willing it to be. That's
Yeah.
how, yeah. So, all right.
Yeah,
Well, good luck to
maybe.
you with that. I hope that works out. Well,
Thank you.
Best of luck to you with the rest of the tour.
Thank you so much, man.